Welcome to Clear Minds. You did the hardest part. You put down the drink, the drug, whatever it was. You fought your way through the physical battle, the cravings, the withdrawals, the shakes. But there's this thing that nobody really warns you about when you get sober. It's the silence that comes after the storm. It's looking in the mirror and having no idea who you're looking at. It's facing a question that's somehow even scarier than, how will I ever stop? And that question is, who am I now? If you feel like you're mourning the person you used to be, even the parts you were desperate to get away from, you are definitely not alone. That feeling, that weird sense of loss for a life you know had to end, that's the real starting line. This is where you start finding out who you were meant to be all along. It could feel like betrayal to actually miss the person you were when you were using. Maybe that person was the life of the party, always ready with a wild story. Maybe that person knew how to have what you called fun, and now they're just gone. You're left behind in the quiet, feeling a little boring, a little lost. This is a very real kind of grief. You are mourning a ghost. That old identity, as destructive as it was familiar. It had its own rules, its own routines, even its own friends. Now, you're standing in an empty space, in identity vacuum, and that emptiness feels terrifying. But here's the secret. That empty space isn't a void. It's a construction site. You're the architect, but you can't build without a blueprint. And I've learned that there are 5 non-negotiable rules for this project. First rule, change your life. And I mean literally. Your old identity can't survive in a new environment. I had to get ruthless. I purged my home of all and any reminders. I started taking a different route home from work. I had to let go of people who were tied to the old me. It wasn't about blaming them. It was about protecting this fragile new beginning. Addiction loves familiarity. Your new self needs fresh soil to grow. Second rule, be brutally honest. Your old identity was a master of deception. It told you that you needed it, that you were nothing without it. Your job now is to fight back with radical honesty. Start a journal and write down the ugliest truths about what your addiction really cost you. Say it out loud to a therapist, a sponsor, or a friend that you completely trust. Every time you speak the truth, you tear down another piece of that old false identity. Rule number 3 is the one that saved my life. Ask for help. Your old self thrived in isolation. It made you believe you were the only person on earth who felt this broken. This is the greatest gift and the most powerful lie. Connection is kryptonite to that old self. Make the call, go to a meeting, send the text. The second you feel that old life pulling you back, you have to reach forward. Connection is the proof that you're not alone, and it's the bridge to who you're becoming. The fourth rule is practice radical self-care. And no, I'm not talking about bubble baths and face masks. I'm talking about the hard stuff. Go to sleep on time. Go for a walk. Eat 3 meals, even when you don't want to. Your old self was all about escaping reality. Your new self has to be about building a healthy one. It's about building a foundation so strong that when that emotional storm hits, and trust me, it will, you have solid ground to stand on. It's learning to sit with the craving and just watch it. It's like a technique I mentioned called urge surfing, where you let that feeling rise and fall without letting it pull you under. And finally, rule number 5, don't bend the rules. Not once, not for a second. The old you is slick and a negotiator. It will whisper, just one won't hurt. You've been so good. You deserve a reward. This is the most dangerous moment of all. A single bend almost always leads to a complete break. Building a new identity is like carving a new path. It takes relentless consistency until it becomes the default way to go. This isn't easy. It's a daily, sometimes moment by moment choice to build something new where something old and familiar used to be. It is the hardest and most rewarding work in all of recovery. So, I want to ask you, which of these rules do you need to zero in on today? Which one feels the most difficult, or maybe the most hopeful? Drop it in the comments below. Let's build this new life together, one rule, one day at a time. Shedding your old identity isn't about pretending your past didn't happen. It's about taking the lessons from it and refusing to let it write your future. You are not lost. You are in the middle of this messy, beautiful, and incredibly brave process of becoming. So, I'll leave you with the one question that should drive you forward from here. Who are you becoming?